little different today because I'm sure you popped in thinking that you'd see Krista, but I've actually had the privilege of working with Krista and the entire staff here at the Parkinsons Foundation. I work in community engagement. I am centered here in Florida, like I had mentioned, and I've worked with Krista for, I'd say, I think 3 years and 2 years on Mindfulness Monday. So it's a little different today because I'm wearing a different hat, but it's such a pleasure to be here, and thank you all. Just one more second. All right, so I'm sure you can see my screen as it is for my PowerPoint slide a little bit. So feel free to submit any questions or any comments you have there in the chat. When we do practice, we will be on mute. This way is to not interrupt anybody's moment. And additionally, join us on video if you care to. We'd love to see your faces. Just so you know, next week is the 4th of July, so we will not be here. We are closed for the holiday for anybody who's celebrating. I hope you have a happy and healthy 4th of July. And our next live program will be on July 11th, so you will receive an email as well. In the meantime, feel free to check out our archive at PD Health at Home. That page will put the link in the chat in just a second. So just like I said, our next meeting will be on Monday, July 11th. That program will be at 1 p.m. Krista will be back, and I'll be on the bottom of your screen again. That's with guided imagery with Dr. Catalina McInerney, who's from the University of Miami, a Parkinsons Foundation Center of Excellence. Also, mark your calendar for that Wellness Wednesday, which is the same week on July 13th at 1 p.m. social engagement. For anybody who likes to sing or wants to sing, or like myself, I think I can sing, and that's okay too. We try our best. That's the point. This is a wonderful program, and that'll be on July 13th at 1 p.m. And then likewise, finish up the week and get in what kind of organization would we be if we didn't talk about exercise. We have our Fitness Fridays, and a new video, so you know how it works, is uploaded every Friday. And then we do the live program on that July 22nd at 1 p.m. If you've never done anything like Rock Steady Boxing or you're new to Parkinson's, this is the perfect program to get started with. You can do it at your own pace, and it will be with the Rock Steady Boxing from Music City, and that's there in Nashville, Tennessee. So we're so thankful and look forward to that. And we also want to thank our sponsor, the Light of Day Foundation. Their generosity helps us have this program, and we were so thankful to them for all that they do. So we continue going forward. And then lastly, we're here for you, not just myself and Krista, but the entire Parkinson's organization. The Parkinsons Foundation, we have our website, which is parkinson.org. There you can get information on programs about what's happening in your local area, but likewise what's happening here at PD Health at Home. I'm not sure if many of you know about this, but you can get more information on what's happening closer by you and the Parkinsons Foundation here, or feel free to ask any of your questions at our Parkinson's helpline at 1-800 for PD info. There you go. So sorry, it's 4636 is the last ones, or email them. So before we get started, and we're just going to get going there, thank you all for joining me again. And we're going to then hand it off to Dr. Rush, who will be leading us today for some mental well-being. So thank you so much for joining us, Dr. Rush, and I hope everybody has a great session.
All right. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you all on this bright and sunny Monday morning, at least, or Monday afternoon now. Goodness. Here in Cleveland, it's bright and sunny. And so I'm Taylor Rush. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a health psychologist here at the Cleveland Clinic. And one of my primary populations that I work with are folks who have Parkinson's disease. So for those of you who've been on before, you see me come on about once a month or so, and I talk about different facets of how to enhance and practice mindfulness, especially in the midst of trying to cope with Parkinson's disease. So I was thinking a little bit about today and what I wanted to chat with you guys about, and I've been pretty candid with this in the past that, I kind of base my topics on what I'm talking about with my patients about in those weeks prior to me coming on here. And this week, I thought we could talk a little bit more about how to apply mindfulness to pacing your activity and being aware of what your body needs. Because often when I am working with folks who have Parkinson's disease, they have a whole variety of different physical symptoms that can affect their ability to do day-to-day functioning. And, this can range from a variety of things depending on what the person does on a day-to-day basis. And so for some individuals, it's how they're able to complete housework, how they're able to tend to their garden, how they're able to go out and spend time with loved ones or go do activities that they enjoy or engage in physical types of activities. And so with Parkinson's, I tell people it's a moving target, right? Your symptoms don't stay the same. They change and evolve over time. And for some people, that's tremor. For some people, that's balance issues. For some people, it's noticing distinct wear-off periods from medications. And so the brain can sometimes have a difficult time keeping up with all of these changes that are taking place. And so despite the body needing to make changes in how it functions and what it's able to do, the expectations for what we think we should do and how we should be able to perform tasks changes despite or doesn't change. Our expectations don't change despite the physical changes that can occur. And so many of my patients will tell me, oh my gosh, it takes me twice as long to do half as much as it used to. I notice that I wear out more easily. My fatigue level is higher. I'm not able to get as much done in a day as I used to. And so we talk about, okay, given that this is the case, how do we better match expectations with the reality of what the body is capable of? Because if you keep writing checks that the body can't cash, eventually things are going to bounce. And when expectations don't quite match reality and we have that gap in between, it often causes distress. And people will say, well, I should still be able to do this the same way I used to. I really want to be able to do all three of my, things that I would normally do in a day. I want to be able to go play pickleball. Plus, I want to be able to go out, with friends to lunch. Plus, I want to be able to spend time with my grandkids in the evening. But now maybe I'm not able to do all of those things in a single day because my body just can't quite keep up the way that I wish it would. And so when those expectations versus the reality of the situation don't align, there can often be frustration, there can be some depression, and there can also be some wasted energy on unproductive or unrealistic expectations that we still hold ourselves to. And so when I talk to individuals about the role of mindfulness in this scenario, we discuss how mindfulness allows for a better understanding of our body and where it is right now. Because remember, mindfulness, and for those of you who are new or would like the reminder, mindfulness is being able to be in the present moment without judgment. And so if we can be with our bodies and understand what it's telling us in those moments, maybe it's telling us that it needs a break. Maybe it's telling us that it needs to slow down a little bit through a period of time. Maybe it can't quite keep up to that pace that we wish it would. But if we can understand what our body is telling us and sometimes alter those expectations, we can sometimes not waste so much energy on the frustration or the irritability that can come with our body not keeping up. And what's interesting is that a lot of my patients at first, when we talk about this, they're like, oh, so I'm supposed to give up. I'm supposed to surrender. This means that the Parkinson's wins and I don't. I miss out. But when we actually start experimenting with this and doing some pacing exercises where they take, they slow down with things, or they take certain breaks, or they spread events out throughout the day or the week a little bit more evenly, and they're able to be patient with themselves about that, be mindful with themselves about that, they actually find that they're able to conserve energy because they're not wasting it on those unrealistic expectations, on that frustration, and they're actually able to do a little bit more than what they thought that they would be able to. And so, we're in the midst of summer right now, right? And I know here in Cleveland, we've had some 90-degree days, which is kind of obscene here, and I don't like it. And for those of you who were on last month, you heard me lament about my air conditioner not working, and the process of what I went through with that. But I want to kind of continue with that theme a little bit, since we're right here in the crux of the summer months. And I want you to consider your energy level on any given day, kind of like central air conditioning, okay? So it's a finite resource. And if we are efficient with our energy in our home, okay, if we're cooling our house, it means that we don't keep the doors open and the windows open, because you're being very inefficient with your energy. And so the air conditioner ends up having to work twice as hard as it needs to. And so when you get upset about not being able to go as quickly with tasks, or get frustrated that you're not able to do as much, it's wasting energy in the same way as leaving a door or a window open with the air conditioner on. And so your body and your brain end up having to work harder to maintain in the midst of that energy leak, basically. So we get so frustrated, we get upset, we get angry. It's like opening a window on a 90-degree day and letting the cold air out. And so if we're able to be mindful with some of those things, if we're able to kind of take a step back and check in with ourselves and say, okay, what's my body maybe telling me right now that I actually need? What's it telling me about how I need to check in with myself? Perhaps practice some self-compassion, perhaps gain perspective on the situation. And if it takes 10 minutes longer, it takes 10 minutes longer. It's not going to be the end of the world. How might that actually help me conserve my energy so that, you can shut that window and keep it, within, a better equilibrium? And so the more efficient you are with your energy, it means that you're taking inventory of some of your emotional expenditure, and then be able to accept what the situation is and act on it, or possibly let it go. And so again, when you're able to manage anxiety, frustration, distress, irritability, many people find that they end up having more energy that they can expend on the things that matter. And so whenever you start to feel overwhelmed or overdriven, stressed out, I think that that's an incredible opportunity to engage in some mindful awareness and do a brief check-in. And that way you can take control of these energy leaks so that you can know where your energy goes, and you can spend it on things where it really matters. So this usually starts with me helping people understand and be aware of what does it feel like when I'm starting to spin a little bit, and that, that door or that window is, creating an energy leak. What are the alarms for that? For some people, it's muscle tension, or they notice that their thoughts start to race, or they have difficulty with pausing or breaking from an activity because I just need to finish it. I need to get it done. If I just get it done, then I can rest. Those types of thoughts, those types of sensations, that urgency, that irritability, often can be a red flag for, hey, maybe now is actually the time that we need to slow down and take a step back, take a break for a moment, recollect, and then go back in. So we have a moment where we can, shut that window or shut that door where our energy is leaking, and then come back to the task at hand after we're able to mindfully check in. So once you better understand some of those red flags, some of those alarms, or some of those triggers for, energy expenditure that ends up being needless, then we can sometimes step back and do a brief mindfulness practice to kind of get back into line with what is going to be our best use of time and energy in that scenario. So I thought that we could do a brief mindfulness practice that focuses on how to use the breath. As you all well know that have done this with us before, the breath is the anchor for any meditation practice. And so how can we use the breath to bring us a moment of respite, a moment of clarity, a moment where we can kind of, see the situation a little bit differently and then reapproach it with a more adaptive strategy. And so that way we close that window that is letting all the cold air out so that we can then redirect to something more productive. So let's see how this one goes today. This one I will always give credit where credit's due. This is a mindful body check-in that was written by Rick Hansen, who is a PhD in neuropsychology and mindfulness, and he's done a lot of research on mindfulness. And so this is adapted from one of his strategies. So I want to make sure I let you guys know that. So let's go ahead and get comfortable in our chairs. And you can either close your eyes or keep them open and relaxed on a soft fixed point a few feet in front of you, whatever feels most comfortable. And as you shift in your chair and you become mindful of your positioning, slowly consider bringing attention to the breath. And the sensations of your breath from the inside of your body. Feeling the cool air coming down your throat, expanding your lungs, and the sensation of warm air coming out. Noticing your lungs expanding and contracting from the inside of your chest wall. Just continue to sink into the cadence of your breath, whatever that may be, not trying to change it, just being aware of that and any other contents of awareness that just flow through the breath. Not holding on to them, not pushing them away. And with the exhale, imagine things leaving you, like tension in your muscles, difficult emotions, or busy thoughts. Using the exhale to let go of things that may be on that ever-present to-do list. Those items on the to-do list seem to like to interject when one is trying to meditate, and that's okay. Use the breath to let that go. Some will even say quietly to themselves, letting go with each out breath can help as a reminder. Now see if you can get a sense of your whole body as you breathe. Feeling the entirety of your body be affected by the breath. Allowing your body to control the entirety of your breath, just as it would when you're sleeping. You may even notice that your breath slows, allowing your conscious awareness to let go of the breath, not holding on, not controlling the pace, allowing your body to take it over. Just being your body breathing. The universe keeps going. Your heart keeps beating. Your body keeps breathing. The rest can wait. Everything is as it is. You are simply a body breathing. Open, aware, and accepting. Carving out a small space of peace for yourself. Just being. When you're ready, begin to shift your weight in the chair just slightly to subtly awaken the rest of your body. Roll your shoulders back a little bit. Briefly, gently move the neck. Start wiggling your fingers and toes. Get the blood flowing to your extremities just enough. Just enough to become aware of every inch of your body. Opening your eyes if they've been closed. And just coming back to more active awareness while still grounded in your body. And maybe feeling just slightly more ready to kick off your afternoon. All right. Starting to see some eyes open here. And as everyone is starting to come back to our Zoom room here, if there are questions or comments that you would like to share with the group, I am happy to answer them in the time remaining. But, as you're thinking about that, one thing I want to, have you guys really consider is, when might you be able to do this in the midst of a busy day? If you have a lot of demands, if you have a lot going on, and you know that there may be checkpoints at which you need to take a moment, take a breath, because you're probably going to feel fatigued or overwhelmed, or it's when your medication is starting to wear off. Think about where you might be able to strategically place a practice like this in your day. And sometimes that means more than once a day. And, for some people, it means once an hour. And so really thinking about where this makes sense to strategically place it into your life on your schedule, just as we do anything else, any other appointment or engagement, realizing that having these checkpoints are going to be important so that you can keep your energy as conserved as possible. We don't need the windows and doors open on a 90-degree day. So let's find ways to keep your energy where you need it and where it's going to make the most sense for you to use it.
Wow. Thank you, Dr. Rush. I appreciate it. And feel free to let us know in the chat, and, maybe some places that you might use it throughout your day when we're just setting our week on this great Monday, leading into a holiday. Let us know. We'd love to hear your feedback, just as Dr. Rush had mentioned, think about it a little bit. Maybe when that moment is just a little bit too much, or you have so much on your plate and the to-do list is going, how can we potentially, help ourselves in this small way to kind of refocus and, move forward on that positive note? I know we all wear a lot of hats. So, Dr. Rush, me.
Yes.
Closing items before as we see people are writing in the chat. Thank you, Monica. Very helpful. We're trying. Anybody else?
We all do our best, right?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I guess that's one definite way is that, we're definitely trying. And that's one thing I realized myself, as we wear many hats throughout the day, something to think about of how can maybe we plan it around a little bit better so we're not so stressed out or overwhelmed or overly exhausted by just having so much to do. I think that's an excellent way. And as you know, this program was recorded. So, we'll be having this up by the end of the week, and you can run this through a couple of times, go to our archives and see what maybe might help you throughout your week. They've got some great titles there on the bottom, so it might work well with you. Or if you'd like to see any of other Dr. Rush's programs that she's been a part of with us, it's 2 years I've had the privilege of working with you as well and being a part of this program with everybody else. And I'm just looking at the chat really fast. I saw, where'd Krista go? Krista will be back next week. She had a lovely vacation. She's enjoying herself on a well-deserved trip, and she will be back, and I will be back in the other spot. And like I said to you, I hope that everybody has a great 4th of July, no matter where you are or how you're celebrating. Definitely rest, eat a lot of food, and have a great time with friends and family for sure. And we'll see you live next time on July 11th. Feel free to check out our archive, like I was saying. That is our parkinson.org/PD health. You can find any of our programs there. And I look forward to seeing you at any of our programs, whether they're here online through PD Health at Home or here in Florida. Everybody has a great rest of the week. And thank you again, Dr. Rush, for leading us. Have a great week, everybody.
Thank
See you next
guys.
time.
Bye.
Bye. Thanks.